Hey crew, it's Stephanie Garcia, and this is Office Hours for Digital Confetti. Now, this is a video that I'm doing specifically for Dan Roth, who asked if I could give him feedback on his upcoming workshop that he's been working on. But first, I wanted to say congratulations for even putting this together. Sometimes when we're putting together workshops, there's so much that gets into our way of like, what should I say? How should I format this? The landing page, the emails, the promos, and all that other stuff. And I have to congratulate you because oftentimes people will get stuck in their heads and nothing will ever come out. And so I'm very happy that you even took the first step, the first attempt in learning of what works and what doesn't work. So I'm going to take this time to go ahead and take a look at the landing page and give you feedback just on my end and take it for what it is, right? Consider me as someone that's relatively new that doesn't know you and is going to take a look at your landing page and then kind of see what else we could do to improve it so that way your next workshop will be absolutely amazing. All right, so having said that, let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll land over onto the landing page. Just for this specific demo, I'm not going to play the actual video. I'll do that on a separate note simply because if I look at this, right, so, and here's why. Let me bring to my conscious awareness of what it is that I'm actually thinking of. I landed on a video, but I don't know how long it is. And so for someone like me who's a busy professional, I'm like, I don't know how much time I'm actually going to dedicate to this. And so having something like that is going to be very important for me. The other question here is when I'm looking at it is who are you trying to target in this particular case, right? Right now, let me move this over here. It says content and LinkedIn platform strategy with Dan Roth, or maybe it's content and platform strategy with Dan Roth. Okay. And then it has the LinkedIn logo. So my first thing is we need a better, sexier title than content and platform strategy with Dan Roth. That's so granular. I want you to make me as a user, what am I dreaming of? What are the things that I'm going to walk away from this that's going to make me like, oh my gosh, like in just about an hour or 3 hours from now, I'm going to have the best LinkedIn strategy on how to generate more leads, close more sales, et cetera, right? Or maybe you're going to teach me LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I don't know what it is right now. So it's content and platform strategy with Dan Roth. I don't know what specifically I'm going to learn from LinkedIn, if it's organic, if it's paid, if it's LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It says Dan Roth, but I don't know who Dan Roth is right now, quote unquote, right? And then this video, I don't know how long it's going to be. So then the next call to action is register now. And it's like, okay, if I do that, then that automatically takes me somewhere else and the cost is $99. Great. I think if there was something where it says something more like it's only $99, reserve your spot now, then I think that would be helpful. But right now, the decision-making process that I go through when I purchase something is very auditory digital in the sense that I want to find out what is it that I'm actually going to learn, right? Does it align with my values? Does it align with my schedule? Like, I don't even know what time this is right now because it doesn't tell me. And then what's the investment for it? So as far as how this is structured, that's my feedback right now. So high level strategy that will help you simplify, save time, and expand your reach. And I would ask myself, Dan, is reach important to me as a professional or is sales much more important to me? So figure out what's most important to your specific avatar. Like, who are you trying to talk to right now? Is it just C-level executives that do want to expand their reach and their visibility? Is it salespeople that want to close more sales? Is it entrepreneurs that want to get more leads? Is it content creators that want to get more brand sponsorships? So the next one here is learn. Learn different types of content and how to determine which will work best for you. I think you can probably tighten that bullet up where it's like learn X type of content that will 4x your reach on LinkedIn. Something like that, to that effect. Like, I want to start seeing some numbers on here because right now it's a lot of words. It's save time, expand your reach. To say something like save time, you could say increase your productivity on LinkedIn by 60% or 80%. How the algorithm processes information, what causes it to speed up and slow down. I guess, okay, so I had that confused look on my face because then I was like, what does that even mean? And why do I care about that? So I think we have to go into not necessarily, this is like product marketing, right? So in product marketing, they always want to say, here are the details of the product, and then there's what are the benefits of the product. So I want to know, what are the benefits of me actually knowing how the algorithm processes information. So I would tighten up that copy. The next one is building off increased views and engagement. I don't know what that means. Is that me building off of somebody else's views and engagement? Or is that once I start to get traction, then I'll start to make headway in that sense? And then there's content for lead generation. Okay, I think that needs to be like, boom, the very top button or the very top bullet. The number one content you should be creating on LinkedIn right now to create more leads, right? To 10x your leads. Live event strategy basics. I think that could, okay. So depending on how long this workshop is, because I still don't know how long it is, just looking at the page, maybe that's more of an advanced workshop. My thing is, when you're designing your workshop and you're facilitating it, how much information are you going to give to your attendees? Because you don't want to give them so much that they feel as if they are drowning in information and they don't know what to do next. We want to avoid analysis paralysis. So having said that, it's kind of like, what are the mini wins that you want them to knock out in this particular workshop? So if you're asking for like 3 to 4 hours of my time, like what exactly am I going to walk away with? Am I going to walk away with templates for the best types of content that's going to generate more leads for me? Are you going to give me a crash course on how often to post on LinkedIn, what type of content? Like these are the things that come into my head as far as, if I'm going to give you 3 to 4 hours of my time, and yes, it's $99, what am I walking away with? And actually, if you had like a graphic, a photo of, like a notebook, that would be really helpful. So for example, in Ecamm Fam, we have the Ecamm Planners Guide. Let me pull it out real quick. So we have like this Ecamm content creators planner, but Caleb could easily just take a screenshot of this and just put it on the landing page to help us understand what we're going to get out of it. I'm not saying you have to create a notebook. You could create a Google Doc, but at least it has like some type of graphic for it. Yeah. And then go about it that way. I would also lean into the branding of LinkedIn. It's professional, it's white, it's blue, and things are structured in a very certain way. And so I would try to mimic that to just kind of show that your workshop aligns with that specific platform. Good. Okay, so the next one is, you have the register now button. Again, it's black and it's over to the left. So this is more of, oh, you're here. Okay, I was just in the middle of recording this for you. You here, friend? Do. Let me know if you're listening in the background or if you're good to go.
Hey, so I am cleaning up before we drive down to the airport, but I
Okay.
can listen and talk.
Okay. So I already did about a good 10 minutes so far. So you're jumping in the middle, but I am recording this for you so you could listen back to the front end. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the issues I had was that I've gotten a lot of different information. I had one person that was like, I just want a click button, and another person that was like, well, I need to know who this is for and all the specifics. But I know that's not what you're going through. It's just the layout, and the layout sucks. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So jumping back in here. So I went over the bullets as far as how I would prioritize these specific bullets. So something that I was mentioning when you weren't on the call, Dan, was I would lean into types of content that you need to create in order to develop leads. And that would be like your strongest hard hitting point. I would also even say that whether this workshop is 3 to 4 hours, what am I walking away with? Am I getting a Notion template, a workbook, a Google Drive, a swipe file, or what exactly am I getting? And if you could actually visualize it for me, then that would be super helpful. And I love the fact that you had mentioned that people are asking for very different things, because when you think about a landing page, people have very different decision making processes. Some people are very visual, they want to see what they're going to get from your workshop. So if you had a mock up of a workbook or a mock up of a template or a chat GPT or whatever, they would have an idea of what they're getting themselves into. Then you have, like, let's say auditory, where they want to hear what other people had to say, and that would actually be like your testimonials and all that other stuff. Kinesthetic would be like, what am I going to get or grasp or walk away from this? And that's where I bring up, like, do you have worksheets? Do you have swipe files? Are you going to have group mentoring or coaching calls to help them along that way? The other part is the auditory digital, where it's very much their process oriented. So what's the structure of this workshop going to be like? Could this be like a 30-day challenge where you're saying, hey, for you to build your brand and your bottom line on LinkedIn, this is like the first batch of content that you have to create, and whether or not you recommend scheduling it or posting it natively. So those are just a couple of ideas when I think of landing pages, how you have to address the different audiences. So in over here is the register now button. It's hidden, it's off to the side. Obviously, if you want like a button for people to click on, there's a reason why people make it very like big, centered, and it has like yellow or gold or something that pops off the page. Right now, it's kind of hidden in there and you
Yeah.
can't really see it. The call to action register now, you could even have say, save your spot now, $99. There are times where I've actually changed the button to where it doesn't say register now, but it's more like when they read it, it's as if they're telling their unconscious mind that this is what they want. So they'll say, I want in, save my spot. So the CTA is much more creative in that sense, and it gets them in there. Good so far?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So then we get into the next section, which is I'm not a coach or a mentor. I'm someone that through trial and error figured out the strategy to build a consistent audience without ever going viral. Now my posts are viewed between 7 to 10 million times per year with the reach of nearly a billion people. So all of this is really just copy for me.
Yeah.
Like I get what you're trying to say. And so for me, I would be like, imagine what it would be like if your LinkedIn post was getting between 7 to 10 million views a year without having to go viral every single time. Would you be interested? That to me, I think would be much more powerful. It's like, oh wow, like what would that do for you? How would that change your business? Not just for you, but you and your family. And then this part where it says, I'm not a coach or I don't think you actually even need that. Like these first two sentences, I don't think that helps in that sense. I
Yeah.
think it's not about you, it's about your audience. Then the next part says, want to know the best part? Join me and find out. We're still kind of like way up here that I don't know what I'm getting as far as process, framework, blueprint. And I still don't know how long it is. So if I click register now, it will take me to the landing page. It's $99. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know how long it is. And then
That
it
should
says,
have been the first thing on the landing page.
yeah, I don't see it on there. That's okay. Remember, this first attempt in learning, we're learning, yeah? Okay,
Yes.
so then we have this top follow on LinkedIn job search. I don't know what that necessarily means for top follow on, like, are you the top voice for job search or what does that mean specifically?
Yeah. So honestly, that was my thought process in putting that there was uh, to provide validity, even though I don't think I need it. But basically, in 2021, I was recognized one of the top 25 job search experts to follow in the world by JobScan.
Okay.
Um, and my point of putting that there was just to show, hey, there is a level of expertise. Um, do I think it's needed? No. And I'll tell you to just kind of give a little bit of context. What I realized as I was putting all of this together is that I'm very good at knowing what I'm trying to teach. I'm very bad at explaining it.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah.
That's what,
So,
yeah, that's what your mentors are here for, right? And that's where you have like someone like me or Tanya coming through and we'll tell you what works on our end. What I do like about this is so in NLP, we talk about how there is values levels thinking. Some people, especially professionals that are working within a business, a company, we call them VL4, values level 4 thinking. What that means is most professionals have a thinking that there's a right way and there's a wrong way. Most VL4 thinkers believe that certifications, awards, accolades are very important, and that's where they decide to, if you're the best of the best in your industry, then I'm going to follow you. That's how they judge their decisions. Then you have entrepreneurs who are sometimes kind of like, break the system. I don't need a system. But I also want to know how much money you made, right? So when I'm looking at this page specifically, I think you're trying to probably target values level 4, employees within a company that want to build their brand or their presence. Right now, I still don't know, right? So I'm still kind of going through the copy for it. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we go in here, and now I'm like, okay, this is social proof of you speaking at different events. Okay, so Dream Alliance, that sounds cool. Women's Day event, awesome. Dan Roth Consulting, that's your logo. I feel like that needs to be somewhere up further.
Yeah.
That's probably just like the flyer itself. So RWCA, I don't know who that is. But these all look like recent speaking engagements. And then you have you here, which is awesome. I love the shirt. And then you have this, which is a like a testimonial. So my recommendation would be I would take out the logos from here because the
Mhm.
logos is the credibility within the industry. So I would just take out the Dream Alliance, the RWCA, logos, and I would just say like as seen on boom, boom, boom. And then I would have a next section where you have your testimonials where people are saying, this is what it was like to work with Dan Roth. And I love that you have this one pulled out specifically for DEI because I know that that is your bread and butter and that's your thing. That could be like, I would imagine that this image of you talking on stage and then you could just have an overlay of Marvin Smith's comment, like just floating right there. And then I think that would be awesome and amazing. Next section here is all my workshops and events aim to be inclusive to all if you require. I love this. I've never seen this anywhere before. I think if you really wanted to call this out, I think LinkedIn has some type of like megaphone icon, but I would call it out, right? And I would make that super helpful in that sense. So then I love that you have this, but this looks like an image that you probably would have pulled off of like a vector image. Um, Instead of making it everything's like square right now. I would probably have these down here as a line or what. I'm also kind of curious what they do on other websites or other landing pages for that. But at that point, so now I've hit the very bottom of the page. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm interested. If now I'm interested, I have to scroll all the way back up to find the button. Your best bet is to put another button at the bottom. Now, the other
Yeah, I
thing,
wasn't sure about that because I was thinking, should I put a button on every single, or do
section,
I limit? Yeah, or do I limit it?
I would, so I've typically had buttons throughout my landing pages, but sometimes the call to actions would be different. The only other section that I would add in here would probably be like an FAQ.
Got it.
So, like, you know, if you're wondering, hey, I want to sign up, um, but will there be a replay because, I work full time and I won't be able to dedicate that, then that would be something that you could add there. Or someone would say like I'm interested in working but with you, but do you have like a one-on-one session then where I could work with you? I would also even have something on here where you might have like your
I'm not
biography.
Steph, real quick, because this is going to come across wrong if you think I'm talking to you.
No, you're good.
Haley, take your clothes off. I, I have to put a dress on you.
That's so funny.
Haley, we
Hilarious.
have to go pick Grandma Bubba up soon. Come here.
That's funny. Okay. All right, so that
Look how
is
look. Yeah.
that's the
Sorry.
recording for you. So I went through the whole page. I won't go through it again because I know that you'll listen to it
Yeah.
quite thoroughly. But I will show you kind of like what's worked for us over at Captivate. So this is like the sales accelerator. And the first thing is boom, here's an image of happy people. Here's the name of it. Here are the dates. And then I explicitly say it's virtual. Cool. Then I have the register now button, which more often than not, when I looked at my Google Analytics, people don't usually click the register now button unless they actually really, really know me. If this is someone that's relatively new, then I'll say like winning the sale happens in the conversation, not in the comparison, which I feel like really resonates with most people because they feel like they have to lower their prices or dim their light because there's other people in the industry, right?
Mhm.
So then my copy goes into you. So this is like me specifically talking to my avatar saying, you're a driven, talented professional who deserves success. But with the current state of the economy, you're afraid to charge what you're worth. You're missing opportunities because you hesitate. You're terrified of following up and you're terrified of objections. And some people, if this resonates for them, they're like, oh my God, that's me. Right? I'm like, then I say, just imagine what it would be like in just a few days. Now you're learning how to monetize your experience. You're charging with confidence and all that other stuff. Then there's the register now button. And then I have actual testimonials from students who have been in our program. Next is, okay, so here's the pricing. It's $197. Register now. It's a 2-day live event. It's NLP business training. Then we go into more copy of like, if you work with people, this training is for you because you'll walk away knowing. So I say like, this is what you're going to get out of this. Okay. And then I also have this example of I've led this workshop before. Look, these people are happy. They're actually doing the group exercises that we've done. And then we go into investing in yourself as the quickest way to increase your influence, your impact, and your income. And then we go into who our team is, which is myself, it's Chris and Carla. So they have a little spiel about them. Then we go back into the pricing, and then that's it. If there's a question, then they can get in touch with us. So I don't have the FAQs on here because I'm just kind of like, just reach out to me. If I wanted to, I could add FAQs on here, but I feel like this is enough as far as like we know our stuff. We've been doing this for quite some time, but it also lives on a website where if they did want to poke around, right, they could see like other places that I've been at. Um, so having said that, that's all there for you. That was
I
fun.
appreciate it.
I'm like, hey, we should do more of this.
No, it's really helpful, especially for somebody like me that has a high level of expertise, but a very low confidence in how to actually present in that way. And this was a big step in the right direction. But I I think my biggest issue, just full transparency, is I was doing it out of a place of fear
Mm,
instead of a place of confidence. But I definitely think that was extremely prohibitive in just the mindset and how to lay things out and how to maximize um, the effectiveness. So I'm definitely aware of that. Okay, real quick because he's not letting me get her dressed, and I need to get her dressed so we could take the 45-minute drive. Um, so the group that I told you about. So basically, here's the deal and why it sort of affects you. And so I initially was trying to give my group to Katie, but we both didn't think it was ideal. So
mm,
what I decided to do is create the first creator hub on LinkedIn. So I have Mary Lou Mandel and Tanya, and I have representatives from Shure and all of these different companies. And basically, I'm trying to create this place where companies and experts can give access to their courses and sales and um, all of that good stuff. And then you have the creators of all different types. I don't care if it's an artist or a videographer or whatever, and they could come and network and gain opportunities. Um, and also gain access to the experts and the companies that are at the hub of what they're trying to do. So I'm really trying to make it this free market economy sort of thing. And what I did is I wound up creating it, opening it up in waves. So right now I only have the experts joining
mm-hmm.
because I want to ensure that there's clarity on why I created it, what you can do, what you can't do, it's not really much that you can't do. And then once that's been established, I'll open it up to the public. But conservatively, I'm looking at 150,000 to 200,000 people. Um, so I really want it to be a place where you and others could have visibility, because so many creators don't have visibility on the platform. And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I'll definitely take a look at it and see how it works into my schedule and obviously how I can
there's
contribute
no
to it.
demands.
Yeah,
So just
and
to,
like,
yeah,
so this is what you know about me. I'm a visual communicator, and so I have like all these little bubbles of ideas that pop up. And so
yeah,
one of the ideas that came to my mind is I was in my Amazon mastermind yesterday with my crew, and they were talking about like how some of these Amazon influencers have these Facebook groups, and that's how they'll say, here's the deal of the day, and that's how they're generating affiliate income from it. I'm thinking that if you have a group of content creators on LinkedIn, they've probably never seen anything like that where it was like a deal of the
exactly.
day. And so I know you like to invite other people to this, but I'm also saying that might also be a great opportunity for you to see. You could literally pitch other course creators and say, hey, I have a community of this many people. Do you have an affiliate link? Because then I would love to share that with my group and do trainings for it. I mean, that's basically what I do when it comes to the social media strategist group or even on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I'm going to do. But right now, I'm just trying to get it functionally out there, and I'm looking to see how I can because this isn't this is a situation where I want everybody to have a financial benefit out of it. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out from my own perspective how to do that, but that's definitely an option.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay, I got to go get this kid dressed and
Okay,
get the hell out the door. But I really appreciate you. I will talk to you later.
absolutely. Go for it.
All right,
I'm
bye.
gonna continue recording. All right, bye for
All
now.
right, bye.
All right, so this is for future Dan. One thing that I did want to talk about when it comes to your landing page, right? So anytime we're creating any type of copy for campaigns, right? So workshops, trainings, speaking engagements, we have to think through as far as what is our core messaging. And so in looking at the landing page, it was very much like, what do we want the title to be? What is the short description of it? What are the benefits? What are the values? Who's the avatar that we're training? And so, kind of like what you were mentioning before, somebody was asking you all that. I like to leverage like Notion to jot down all of my ideas, or you can even use Chat GPT to build that stuff out for you. Those of you that don't know, I used to use this one tool called Jasper.ai, and I'll show you why I used to use it. I could still use it, but I'm so familiar with my prompts now that I don't. However, you can. So if you go into Jasper, Jasper actually just makes it really easy for you to create content leveraging their platform. And so there's different things that you could do in here. So the first thing is when you go in here, you want to have like, what's your knowledge base? Tell me every single thing about your business, your product, or your service, your history, and that becomes your knowledge base. They start to put in information in here. So for example, when I was working with Agorapulse, I put a lot of information about our different product features, our inbox, our monitoring tool, our publishing, our reporting, our ROI, and I put all of that stuff in here so that way if Jasper ever needed to look back at our tone of voice, they could reference off of that particular tool. Then for the brand voice, there's certain people that I actually really like. There's Mel Robbins and Sarah Jansen. She's this other speaker coach. And I was like, I really like her style. So when you're building out a campaign in Jasper, what makes it really nice is you could build out a campaign and you could say, let's say, this is Dan's, what do you call it? This is Dan's content strategy platform workshop. Again, we need to fix that name somehow. Then you're going to choose a voice. You could create a new one if you wanted to. And then you're just going to add the knowledge. And then it's kind of like, what do I know about the LinkedIn platform? What do I know as far as how important it is for people? Once you start to build that out, then you click on create campaigns. So for example, let's say I'm doing this introduction to content marketing. And the campaign overview for here was I'm targeting entrepreneurs that are struggling to create content that converts. They want to align their marketing initiatives with sales. There are tens and thousands of content marketing jobs being advertised on LinkedIn. These roles have never been in more demand, blah, blah, blah. So this is me like saying, this is everything that I know about content marketing. And these are the learning objectives that I want people to have in here. So I just kind of brain dumped on here, save changes. The nice thing in here then is Jasper has this instant magic where if I say, okay, now I want you to create, I want you to create something for me. So you can create blog ideas, a blog post, a case study, FAQs, Google ads if I wanted to, Instagram captions, landing page, a LinkedIn post or whatever. I could click on view more and then there's more in here. Let's say landing page, for example. So I click on landing page, it starts to generate. And then I'll also click on nurture email sequence. So now that's being built out in that sense. Let's see if I can put that on there. Give this a second to refresh. Refresh. Okay, so now here's the first draft of the landing page that I created for me based off of all of those things. So the landing page says, master content marketing, boost engagement and sales, unlock the power of effective content marketing, drive engagement, boost your sales, grow your business. So it basically built this out for me. So what you'll learn, you'll discover how to, and then there's the CTA. Other things that you could have in here, you could build it out as much as you want to, but I think those are usually very helpful. Then you could remix it, you could add more stuff to it if you wanted to, and kind of build off of it. And so I think this is something that's going to be very helpful for you as you start planning the next evolution of your landing page and then really going about it that way. Cool. All right. So I would go back to the basics. What is the title of my workshop? Who am I targeting? What are their values, beliefs, and attitudes? What are possible objections that they might have? And then from there, I would go into here are the features and the benefits that you would actually get from being a part of my workshop. Here's social proof. This is how I know what it is that I know. I'm not a guru. I'm not Tony Robbins. However, I managed to unlock the mysteries of the LinkedIn algorithm so that way you could 10x your views, your reach, and so on and so on. Here's what other people had to say. Don't take my word for it. Hear what other people had to say. Again, you should register right now. Take action. Just imagine what it would be like. This is like you future pacing your particular avatar. Then you go into, okay, go ahead and register now. FAQs, register now. And so that's how I would build out the whole entire landing page. And again, you would still create your nurture sequence and your promo plan around that. So that's something that we didn't get into much today, but I would love to know, like, hey, how did you promote this? Did you promote it more than once? Because right now you're in a stage of what we call the launch phase, right? So you've been in nurturing phase, building your authority and whatnot on LinkedIn. So now it's boom, now we have to close the sale. Now that we've got these people engaging with us for so long, now we have an offer to put out. And so when you put that offer out there are different tactics that you could put in there. If you only have 10 spots, then you could say, I only have 10 spots, reserve your spot now. Maybe you could do a fast action bonus where if they reserve the spot now, then they get an extra one-on-one call with you, coaching call, access to a course, your swipe files, things of that sort. And then I think that would be super helpful. Good. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll end this recording for now. I'll put it up on YouTube and then I'll share it into Digital Confetti just for those that want the replay. And then we'll go about it that way. If you guys have more questions about the campaigns that you're working on, please reach out. Every month we have a monthly hot seat. Carla was the very last one that jumped into it. And so it could just be that we have our meetings on a weekday when you might actually just be at your full-time job. And I totally get that. Maybe you have other commitments. So if we need to move it to like a Sunday, let me know if that works, because I really want this to be beneficial for all of you as a part of Digital Confetti to really get that feedback and start creating the content that's really going to level up your impact and your influence as well as your income. All right, friends, I'll talk to you later.